Let me tell you a truth most people don't realize until it's too late. Failure is not a punishment. It's a message, a teacher, a doorway. But because it comes wrapped in pain, disappointment, and embarrassment, we reject it, hate it, and run from it. What most people never understand until much later in life is this. Every failure carries a gift. But only those who stay long enough get to open it. If you walk away too soon, if you quit too early, you'll never know what was waiting on the other side of that broken moment. So today, I want to show you what's really inside failure. And why the people who rise the highest are the ones who once fell the hardest. Why failure feels like the end. Let's be honest. Failure doesn't knock. It breaks in. It humiliates you in front of others. It stabs your pride. It whispers in your ear, "See? You weren't good enough after all." It hurts. But here's the truth. The pain isn't from the failure itself. The pain is from what you think failure means. Because somewhere along the way, someone taught you, failure equals shame. Failure equals weakness. Failure equals, you're done. And so, when we fail, we don't just lose a job, a game, or a relationship, we lose belief in ourselves. But pause. Breathe. What if failure isn't an ending? What if it's a clearing? Making space for the person you were meant to become? What's actually hidden inside failure? You see, failure doesn't show its gift right away. It's not obvious. It's not instant. It's not easy. That's why most people miss it. But here's what lives inside every real failure. If you dare to dig deep enough. Self-awareness, the mirror you've been avoiding. Failure exposes you. It strips away the ego. It removes the mask. It shows you. You see who you are under pressure. You see what you truly value. You see what matters when everything else falls apart. It's the mirror that success never shows. After losing everything in a failed startup, one young founder wrote, "I finally realized I was chasing applause, not purpose." Would he have seen that if he succeeded? No. Failure gave him the mirror. Strength, the kind that only pain builds. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Character doesn't grow without pain. Failure is the gym of the soul. When you get back up, when you try again, when you show up with shaky hands but a steady heart, that's strength, that's grit, that's fire. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Now, she's one of the most powerful voices in the world. Not in spite of her failures, but because of them. Redirection, the gift of being pushed off the wrong path. Sometimes failure isn't a curse. It's a compass. It's life shouting, "Not this way." Steve Jobs was fired from the very company he founded. That setback led to the creation of Pixar, and later, the greatest comeback in tech history. Without that failure, there would be no iPhone in your hand today. Failure doesn't always mean stop. Sometimes it just means pivot. The only difference between you and them. You know the difference between people who win in the end, and those who disappear quietly? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's one thing. They stayed long enough to receive the gift. Most people leave the room before the magic happens. They run when it gets hard. They quit when it gets lonely. They walk away right before the breakthrough. Thomas Edison failed over 1.000 times before inventing the light bulb. But he said, "I didn't fail. I found 1.000 ways that didn't work." That's a man who stayed long enough to open the gift. What do you need to remember the next time you fall? Because you will fall again. We all do. So when it happens, remember this. Don't take it personal. You failed? Good. That means you tried. That means you dared. You are not your failure. Failure is something you experience, not something you are. Don't let embarrassment bury you. Shame is a liar. You're worried what others will think? They've already forgotten. But what you'll remember forever is whether you got back up or not. Don't waste the pain. If you're going to suffer, get the reward. Learn the lesson. Grow the muscle. Open the gift. The hidden gift that changes everything. Here's what no one tells you. Success is loud. But failure? Failure speaks in whispers. It doesn't give you its wisdom unless you're still enough to hear it. Still enough to stay. Still enough to fight, even when it looks pointless. So let me ask you, are you willing to suffer for something great? Are you willing to stay when others leave? Are you ready to find the hidden gift? Because if you are, then you're already different. You're already on your way. You're already rising. If this message lit a fire in your heart, if something whispered inside, "This is me," then don't let that voice fade. Subscribe now to Awaken Greatness for powerful stories, real lessons, and raw motivation that will push you to become everything you were meant to be. We've only just scratched the surface. There are more gifts to uncover, more comebacks to make, more lives to change, starting with yours. Let's rise. Let's rewrite your story. Let's show the world what happens when someone refuses to stay down.